I'm sure you've seen a stat thrown around over the last few days that the New York Knicks are 0-7 against the top 3 teams in the NBA. They have yet to beat the Thunder, the Celtics, or the Cavs this year, and most of those games have ended in blowouts. And the Knicks made some big swings last offseason. They acquired Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets. They acquired Karl-Anthony Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this is the first year with this team gelling together. They are still the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, but it does feel like they're a tier behind the top teams in the NBA. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? I'm going to be rebuilding my favorite team, the New York Knicks. I haven't touched this team in 2K since they traded for Karl-Anthony Towns back in September. And you can see over the last few days, they lost to the Boston Celtics. They were getting blown out for most of this game. They did come back in that third quarter, but then they couldn't take the lead in the fourth. They got demolished. It was embarrassing, their loss against the Cleveland Cavaliers the game before that. A couple weeks prior to that, they lost to the Boston Celtics by 27 points. They lost to the Thunder twice in basically a week, lost by 10 on January 3rd. This could have been a close game, but they just blew it in the fourth quarter. They were leading for most of this game, and then they got blown out at home a week later against the Thunder. And then if you go back earlier in the year, you remember opening night, they got demolished by the Boston Celtics. Mikal Bridges couldn't hit a shot in this game. It was not pretty whatsoever. And then they lost to the Cavs in a close game basically a week after that. So yeah, 0-7 against the top teams in the NBA. And I'm going to have injuries on today just because I'm going to try to win a championship with the top 5, with Brunson, Bridges, Towns, Anunoby, and Josh Hart. So having injuries on now gives me an extra challenge to really build out a good depth or just build, a good bench on this team, because this has been one of the worst bench units in the league this year because of a lack of talent, and also because Tibbs is playing his starters so many minutes a night. 35 minutes a night for Brunson, same thing for Cat. 38 minutes a night for Mikal Bridges, who is still yet to miss a game in his career. 36 minutes a night for injury-prone OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart, when he is playing, 38 minutes a night as well. Like, we need to help out this team. I don't think Mitchell Robinson is going to save the day, but it should help them out a little bit. And we're approaching the contract extension deadline. Precious Achiuwa has really been up and down for the Knicks this year. He's had his moments. He's had his just not moments, basically. So I'm going to give him a 2-year extension. This could be some type of asset, though, we could move on draft night. So that's why I wanted to re-sign him. And the Knicks offense, it's just got to get... Oh, okay. This is just a great injury because Josh Hart's out for 1 to 2 months. But the Knicks defense hasn't been good this year, and that is fine. But their offense is one of the best in the NBA. They really just need to maximize that offense. And I do wonder the best course of action for this team is inserting Mitchell Robinson into the starting 5, and then you move Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges to the bench. So Tyler Kolek probably not going to get minutes. Landry Shamet has been getting minutes for the Knicks this year. Like DeLon Wright's getting minutes after the trade deadline. It hasn't been great. Campaign has been playing a lot for the Knicks this year because their bench is so bad. Miles McBride has been a pleasant surprise. As always, he's been a good contributor. So let's give Mitchell Robinson about 30 minutes a night while Josh Hart is out. We're going to go 35 probably to Karl-Anthony Towns. Let's go 34 to Anunoby. Let's go 37 to Mikal Bridges. And we're going to go about 36 to Brunson. We can go one more to Landry Shamet. Yeah, I hope we're full strength for the playoffs. I do think this team could still make a run in the Eastern Conference. Would I take them over Cleveland or Boston? No. Would I be totally surprised if they beat them in a 7-game series? No. We saw the Miami Heat as an 8 seed beat the 1-seeded Bucks. I feel like anything can happen right now. Now you know this game is unrealistic because Mikal Bridges is injured. That never happens. And also for this team, in hindsight, you drafted Bakomi Dadiet, an absolute 3-year project, maybe 4-year project player with a complete unknown at pick 25, when you could have drafted one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player in the draft, Ryan Dunn. A couple picks later, he went to the Suns. All right, so we're in the final week of the season. We are going to finish most likely as the 3 seed here in the Eastern Conference, and we are going to be fully healthy, thankfully, in the playoffs as Josh Hart came back. But honestly, I didn't want him to play the last week. We were locked into the 3 seed. There was no point in bringing him back. I assume we're going to be going up against the Pistons unless something did change. But shout out to Cade Cunningham getting on All-NBA first team. Karl-Anthony Towns on All-NBA second team, because a lot of these guys like Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama that would make All-NBA first team, maybe Anthony Davis, did not reach the minimum 65 game played threshold. So I'm surprised Brunson didn't make All-NBA second team, but he does make All-NBA third team this year. Another elite year in New York, 3 in a row. And I would say that the wing stop of Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby have been kind of disappointing this year on both ends. You could say offensively and defensively. Now, OG has been here for around a year now. Mikal Bridges has been here for a little bit over half a year. So I'm not going to judge them basically on their first 50 or so, 60 or so games played together, but I would like for them to improve. Miles McBride, 2K, not a huge fan of them in the sim. So we're actually not taking on the Pistons. They lapped both the Pacers and the Bucks to get the 4 seed. Shout out to the Pistons, man. Shout out to Cade Cunningham. We finished with 52 wins, only one less than the Boston Celtics, as the Bucks went 42-40. The Knicks did have some success this year against the Bucks, and we are going to play the starting 5 a ton of minutes. I think I am going to start Mitchell Robinson, and I'm going to have Josh Hart come off the bench. So let's move him to a small forward where he goes up to an 88 overall. Wow. Just seeing Josh Hart at an 88 is kind of cool, because like, I never thought that would have happened when he was drafted out of Nova. Or even like when the Knicks acquired him, he was just like this really good role player. And maybe you could still say he is a role player, but I feel like he's much better than that, the numbers he puts up. He basically puts up like center. He kind of puts up like mini Sabonis, mini Şengün numbers for somebody that is like 7 inches shorter than those guys. So for the playoffs, I think Precious is going to get like 10 minutes a night. We're going to go about 15 a night to campaign. Let's go about 18 to Miles McBride. Maybe a little bit more than that. Mitchell Robinson, I think, can get 30 minutes is fine. But I basically want to get 10 more minutes for Josh Hart. I am debating just going to an 8-man rotation, but the bench can't be like campaign, Miles McBride, and Precious. So I think I may actually lower OG's minutes to 33. I think I may lower Mikal's minutes to 35. Brunson can go to 37. Let's go 28 to Mitchell Robinson, who's actually been really good since he came back from his injury. Let's go about 29 to Josh Hart. Honestly, let's go 10 to campaign. Let's go 15 to McBride. Let's go about 35 to Hart, 30 to Mitchell Robinson. So let's just roll with that. We're playing the top 6 a ton, and then McBride, Payne, and Precious will be sprinkled in there. I'm not going to say Tibbs is safe in this video, in this rebuild. There's a chance he could be let go if we do disappoint. We do win game 1 by 3. Brunson drops 34. Giannis drops 28. The Knicks do have some luck in the sim, I do see, when we start things off, and Mikal Bridges is already hurt. That's great. So that means like McBride's going to play a little bit more. Campaign's probably going to play a little bit more. And then I think Precious is going to play more. I think I may honestly go 40 minutes a night to Josh Hart. OG's going to play a little bit more. And then like Shamet was really bad for us, but I think I don't really want to give anybody else minutes. So let's give him 7 minutes a night. Without Mikal, we do lose game 2 by 16. Brunson 25, Mitchell Robinson 23. Cat fouls out and has 13 points. Game 3 goes to the Milwaukee Bucks. They blow us out 135-115. Brunson with 26, OG with 19, Cat with a double-double, but it was just not enough. Game 4, we do win this one. Okay, so we blow them out. We win by 25. Josh Hart drops 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists. Okay, that is maybe the best Josh Hart performance I've ever seen, and I've seen some good ones. We do lose game 5 by 4. Cat and Brunson combined for 62, but Dame and Giannis combined for 71. And yeah, I don't think we're going to get Mikal back for game 6. So if we do win, hopefully we can get him back for game 7. We got to win on the road, though. We have a really good second quarter, a good third quarter as well. We're up by 13 with 7:47 left. Do not blow this lead. Bang. We force a game 7. Brunson, 35, says, I'm not going home just yet. Josh Hart with a 23-point triple-double. Mitchell Robinson with 22. OG, I mean, 2K makes him way worse than he is in real life. Like, I don't think OG's ever become maybe that mini Kawhi that we thought he could have been, like back in 2021 or 2022, and he was so good for the Knicks last year before he got hurt. And he was good for the Knicks in the playoffs as well. But this year, feels like it hasn't been the same. So we're not getting Mikal Bridges back for game 7, which is kind of scary. Can we come back down 32? We have a very high-scoring first quarter. We have a really good second quarter, a good third quarter. All right, we're up by 20 here in the fourth. So the Knicks are going to blow out the Bucks in game 6 and game 7 to advance. Karl-Anthony Towns drops 46 and 12. Josh Hart with another triple-double. Jalen Brunson, he had 13 assists, but did not shoot the ball well, but the offense was that good. And we're going to advance to take on the Boston Celtics, and we are going to be at full strength. And what I think I may do, I'm going to bench OG Anunoby. I do think that this contract may not age the best, $48 million, but he's only going to be 31 years old. Like, OG is still very young. So let's probably lower Payne's minutes to about 10 a night. Let's lower McBride's minutes to about 15 a night. Now that may change actually. So yeah. Oh no. Let's give Mikal Bridges about 37 minutes a night, because Josh Hart is playing out of his mind. 18, 11, and 10. He's almost averaging a triple double. I have to start him. All right. So this is what it's gonna look like, and OG is going to come off the bench. So we're taking on the Boston Celtics. The Cavs ended up winning in round 1, but they had to go to 7 games against the Magic. You have OKC and Dallas. Dallas ended up as the 5 seed. They swept the Lakers, man. That would just be cinema in round 1. Denver, Minnesota, a rematch of last year. I mean, Dallas and OKC is a rematch of last year as well. And then you got Cleveland and Detroit. Shout out to Detroit making it to round 2. They beat the Pacers in 7 on the backs of Tobias Harris dropping 23. So the Celtics did beat the Bulls in 5. How did the Bulls make the playoffs? That's kind of crazy. And they're better than us, right? They're the reigning NBA champions. They dominated us throughout the regular season. So I don't really have a lot of hope throughout this series. We do lose game 1 by 23 points. Yeah. If we could win like 2 games, I would be impressed. We do win game 2. I do think 2K may like the Knicks a little bit more than I think how they would match up in real life. But Mikal Bridges, man, we gave up like 6 first-round picks for you. I do not need you to go 6 of 17 here, even though we did win. We do lose game 3 by 7, sadly. Damn. Game 4, can we make this a tied series? Yes, we can. We win by 2. Josh Hart, 25 and 11. OG took 23 shots. All right. Brunson, he's averaging 23 points here in the playoffs. What is Cat averaging? 23 as well. All right. Game number 5. We do win this one, 135-121, and we are 1 game away from finally getting out of round number 2. The Knicks were up 3-2 against the Pacers last year. They lost game 6, and they lost game 7. Obviously, they were so banged up. Right now, we are fully healthy. Can we beat the Celtics in 6 to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in a while? It's definitely been a minute. So let's see if we can close it out here in the fourth quarter. We're down by 9 with 9 minutes left. And are we going to have a fourth quarter comeback? We do not. Damn, the defense did not play well in this game as the Celtics win 146-138. Tatum drops 48 on the road. Does this remind you a little bit of game 6 of the 2023 NBA playoffs where Tatum was having a terrible game and then he balls out in the fourth quarter? I mean, this was a way better game for Tatum against Philly, in Philly, when they were down 3-2 to force a game 7, then they blew them out in game 7. Let's see if that happens here. It's a high-scoring first quarter. We outscored them by 10 in the second. Third quarter was pretty close. We're up by 10 with 8 minutes to go. Up by 5 with 3.5 to go. Up by 8. And I do think we are going to advance. Yep. Oh, my God. We end up winning by 2. But the New York Knicks, on the back of Brunson dropping 35, Cat dropping 31, are going to advance to the conference finals against the Cavs. Minnesota, Dallas, a rematch of last year. But obviously, the Mavericks do not have Luka Doncic. So yeah, we're going to take on the Cavs. Josh Hart is banged up. They did just sweep the Detroit Pistons. He's got a bruised right knee. He's playing through it. We do lose game 1, 122-113. Hart on a bruised knee, 27-10, 5 and 2. Are you kidding me? Cat, 6 of 17. Mikal, 3 of 13. Come on, I need you to be better than that, Mikal. All right, game number 2. We can't split them in Cleveland. They win by 4. Damn, Cat had 37. I mean, the Knicks did beat the Cavs in round 1 2 years ago, but these teams are very different since then. Well, the Cavs honestly aren't that different. They have added like DeAndre Hunter since then and Max Strus, like the most notable guys, but they've kept Garland, Allen Mobley, and then Donovan Mitchell. We do tie it up 2-2. All right, so we win both the games at the Garden. Cat and Brunson combined for 71 in game 4. Brunson had 28 in game 3. We won by 1 in overtime. Game 5, Josh Hart is fully healthy, and we take a 3-2 lead. We blow them out by 29 points. Josh Hart, he's been the MVP. He has literally been the MVP, I think, of this video so far. 17, 10, and 8 here in the playoffs. Game number 6, we advance to the NBA Finals for the first time in almost 25 years. The New York Knicks are going to be playing in the NBA Finals. Brunson has a great game. Jared Allen had a good game. Are we taking on Minnesota or Dallas? It is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. So you have Cat versus his old team, Randall and DiVincenzo versus their old teams, and both of them are starting for Minnesota. And I feel like this is the matchup I usually see when I'm not like controlling any of these teams. Let's see if we can win it though. I usually see Minnesota win it, and they beat us by a lot to start things off. So I think here, now that we're in the NBA Finals, how is like Campaign shooting the ball in the playoffs? I mean, his defense isn't great. So I'm not actually going to play Campaign anymore. We're going to go to an 8-man rotation. McBride, I mean, at least he knocks down threes. He's going to get 15 minutes a night. Precious, 10 minutes a night. So we got about 10 more minutes. We're going to go 40 to Brunson. We're going to go 40 to Josh Hart. Let's go 37 to Cat. And we can go 1 more to Mitchell Robinson. So game number 2, we do lose the first 2, which happened against the Cavs. But those first 2 were on the road. These first 2 were at home. And we lose the first 3. All right, well, I guess we are going to lose the NBA Finals, unfortunately. Mitchell Robinson has the flu. Hey, we did win 1 finals game at least. I guess this is going to be like the New York Yankees in the World Series. Yep, we get gentlemen swept. Anthony Edwards is your finals MVP. You know what's funny? I feel like Cleveland and Boston are both better than Minnesota. Maybe not Milwaukee, but they're close to Minnesota. And they just dominated us. Like, we really beat Boston in 7, Milwaukee in 7, Cleveland in 6, just to get blown out by Minnesota in the NBA Finals. And we were pretty healthy. We were mainly healthy in the finals as well. That is kind of unfortunate, but I don't know. I mean, like, this team isn't old by any means. Like, it's not like we have an average age or this core is all in their mid-30s. Like, Josh Hart is the oldest player at 30 years old. Cat is still 29. Brunson, 28. Bridges, Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, all are in their prime age-wise. We are going to override LeBron's retirement. Chris Paul, I'll keep him around. Did Russ retire? He did. Can I override 3 players? Yeah. So we're going to override those 3 guys. I mean, I don't think I'm ending up with any of those players next year anyway. I don't think the Knicks, should make any big changes. I thought this also said the All-Star game would be USA vs. World, which would be dope, but it's the Rising Stars game, so that's fine. But yeah, I think, even if the Knicks lost in round 2, if they lost in round 1, then maybe I would panic a little bit. But in round 2, if they lose to Cleveland or Boston, I'm fine with it. Cleveland didn't panic the last 2 years when they lost to the Knicks or the Celtics and traded away any of their guys. The Celtics never panicked when they ended up not winning the finals till 2024, and they kept Brown and Jason Tatum throughout that. So I think I'm also going to change Mikal Bridges to a small forward. Does his overall go up a decent amount? It goes up to an 87. But yeah, I don't know why OG is regressing. Maybe it's because I moved him to the bench for the playoffs. But yeah, that contract is pretty large. We do not own our first round pick this year. That Wizards pick isn't really going to be anything. Anyway, the Sixers, really, okay, they get Cooper Flag. I guess the East is going to get a little bit tougher as the Spurs end up with number 2. Detroit's pick at 21, the Timberwolves have from the Cat trade, and then we do have to give the Nets the 25th pick. If the Knicks are just giving the Nets picks in the 20s from the Mikal Bridges trade, I'm fine with that. All right, so the Knicks made a trade with the Thunder during the night of the 2024 draft where they basically got 5 second-rounders or 4 second-rounders for Dylan Jones, which the Knicks traded away their 25th overall pick for that. So I'm going to make a trade with the Clippers. I'm going to get pick 28. I'm going to give them 3 second-rounders, and I'm going to give them Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek, I really liked as a prospect. I just don't know if he's ever going to shine here in New York because you have Brunson playing all these minutes, and then Miles McBride as the backup guard. So, yeah, we are going to send Kolek here to the Clippers. I'm going to get a new rookie on a 4-year contract, and I don't know if I'm done just yet. I'm going to be trading Pacomi Diop to the Phoenix Suns, along with 3 second-round picks for Nick Richards, who will be a free agent at the end of the year. The Suns do save a little bit of money against the luxury tax. They get a wing that has some upside in Diop, and he's under team control for the next 3 years, and they're going to get 3 second-rounders out of this deal as well, and we are going to complete this because injuries are on, so you never know if Mitchell Robinson does get hurt, or hey, maybe I trade away Mitchell Robinson, we have a better backup. And I do like Ariel Hukporti a ton, but he's already 25 years old, but I would like to bring him back, as well as Kevin McCullough, who I think could be a good defensive wing for the Knicks. I wish they gave him a little bit more of a chance now that he's healthy, because he was hurt to start off the year, but now we do own a first-round pick in this draft here at 28. And Ace Bailey goes number 1, not Cooper Flag. All right, that is definitely a shocker. So I just got offered, oh my God. I'm not going to do this because this isn't realistic, but pick 2 for Mikal Bridges. I could get Cooper Flag on the New York Knicks, which would be kind of sick. And they take Dylan Harper. All right, I don't know what's going on. Cooper Flag is staying in the state of North Carolina. And I'm going to take Drake Powell from UNC. I think a little bit raw offensively and definitely needs to figure out his role and what he's going to be as an offensive player at the NBA level. But I love his defense, and that's what we're taking here. Perimeter defense. And the Nets at pick 25 with our pick, they ended up taking Janai Broom. A little bit of an older player, but the best player in college basketball. We are going to sign Drake Powell. We're going to pick up the option on Ariel Hukporti. And I'm going to offer Kevin McCullough the qualifying offers, but not Jacob Toppin or Matt Ryan. And I'm going to try to make one signing here. I don't know if he wants to come to a big market again. Ben Simmons. Yep, we are getting Ben Simmons back in the Atlantic Division where he's played for the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. I need perimeter defense. Hopefully Tibbs can get something here out of Ben Simmons. We are going to renounce the rights on campaign. Good vibes guy. I mean, maybe if I can bring him back, but DeLon Wright, Andrew Shamet, Top and Ryan are all gone. Honestly, if campaign wants to come back on the minimum, that's fine with me. And I'm going to look to bring back Kevin McCullough on a 1-year deal. I wanted to give him a 2-year deal, but I really couldn't do that financially. I think the big thing with Julius Randle is he ended up with 21 points. Were the Knicks going to extend him? I'm not sure if they were going to give him Karl Anthony Towns. Well, they definitely weren't giving him cap money, but after the Knicks lost Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson got hurt, they desperately needed a center. So I don't know how the Knicks would have done this year with Randall and Precious, right? But I don't think Minnesota's going to re-sign him. So did Minnesota trade away Cat for basically 1 year of Randall, DiVincenzo, and then who did they take in the first round with the Minnesota Timberwolves pick? They ended up getting Kasperi Shakuchonis just fell to them at 21. Really, he's going to go in the top 10 in real life. But I think they're lucky that the Pistons are good this year because that pick maybe was never going to have any value because maybe the Pistons, it was never going to convey, and it did. So they're able to get a good pick this year in the draft. Jalen Brunson regresses. Cat regresses. He had a sore left knee. I guess he got that in the last game of the NBA Finals. And Mikal Bridges could be eligible, I believe, for a 4-year, $160 million extension this offseason. I don't know what Mikal would do here. I know the Knicks don't have too much leverage because they gave up so much to get him, and I don't think they could afford for him to leave for nothing. And right now, you can see that we have negative $86 million in cap space. So we don't really have a ton to work with right now, like against the luxury tax. I have to bring back Mikal. Like, if I gave him, I don't know, $30 million a year for 4 years, 4 years, 120. I feel like that's pretty fair for what his production could be, but he may look at OG getting high 30s, close to the 40s, and he may want more than that. So you know what? I'm going to give him a realistic extension. I'm going to give him about 4 years, which is going to go up every year. I'm not even going to flat rate that. It's going to be backloaded. So you have 5 years, 180 left on the deal. By the last year of it, he's going to be making $43 million. So yeah, that's just going to be another wrinkle for us. We're also going to extend Mitchell Robinson as well. We're basically pulling what the Boston Celtics did last offseason, extending all their guys. But I think, like, if Boston wanted to trade Derek White, they can easily find someone to trade for him, or Kristaps Porzingis. Drew Holiday, maybe not as much, but for us, Mitchell Robinson, I'm not saying he's a guaranteed spot on this team, but I think he would be happy enough to get now 5 years, 84 left on the deal, and we can still trade him if we wanted to. So I do like the team this year and the depth that we have. I am going to start Wingstop there, Bridges and Anunoby. I don't know how you guys feel about that nickname. I think I'm going to start Cat, and I'm going to start Mitchell Robinson, and Josh Hart is going to be like that pseudo six-man for us. I don't even know if Precious is going to crack the rotation, but I think this team has depth, and that's what we need. So Cat and Brunson are going to get about 35 minutes a night. We're going to go 34 to Bridges, 32 to Anunoby, 28 to Mitch Rob, 33 to Josh Hart, 20 to McBride. I think Nick Richards can get around 10 minutes a night for this team. And then if I wanted to, I feel like I should try to play one of the defenders. So basically Powell, Ben Simmons, or McCullough. I don't mind seeing what Kevin McCullough can do. I'm going to give him about 6 minutes a night. Ben Simmons can get about 7 minutes a night. So we have a mixture of offense and defense off the bench. I also do want to change Ben Simmons' position from a point guard. And he goes up to an 81 at small forward. And we start off the year with a loss against the 76ers, but then we blow out the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, a weird start. All right, so we have been fantastic here in the 2026 season. We are the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. We have the best point differential. You have the Cavs, the Raptors are good, the Sixers are good again. You have the Nets here, even with a negative point differential, the Pacers, Pistons, Hornets. So I guess the Celtics, yeah, 2K just hates them for whatever reason. And over in the West, yeah, like the Spurs, they're on a 19-game winning streak. Are you kidding me? But yeah, back to us. If we do look at our offensive rating in the NBA, we are currently 3rd in offensive rating, and we, in like defensive rating wise, we're currently number 7, which is pretty good. Like, we have a really good team right now. The Warriors are really good this year, but I'm glad our defense is back, and that's what I wanted to prioritize in the offseason, as Jalen Brunson is putting up all NBA caliber numbers. Cat has been a great number 2. Mikal Bridges, I think a good enough number 3. I mean, I'm fine with him averaging less points if he's going to be like that real elite 3-point shooter for us. Josh Hart currently dealing with another knee injury, but he has been great yet again for us this season. OG, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 37 from 3. I would like for the field goal percentage to be a little bit better than that. McBride's hitting his threes this year. Mitchell Robinson's averaging close to a double-double. Drake Powell's now getting some minutes because of the Josh Hart injury. I like what I've seen. And then like Nick Richards, Ben Simmons, and Kevin McCullough are kind of doing their part right now. I think we're going to do something similar to Nick Richards like we did with Precious Achiuwa last year. I'm going to give him a 2-year extension. I think I'm going to give him a player option on it. So I think he'd be more inclined to sign this. So basically a 1+1. He can guarantee himself $14 million, but I get that trade asset through the offseason. And we look at the team right now, like the only free agents we are going to have at the end of the year are going to be Ben Simmons, McCullough, Hook Porty, and Campaign. So I like where we're at right now. And I hope 2K does implement the second apron next year, because I do feel like this would be a second apron team, which I'm not really scared of being a second apron team right now. It would be like the repeat offender where I would lose out on my draft pick. So I wasn't really going to make any trades. I kind of want to see what this team could do. Like, we're the best team in the Eastern Conference. Our defense is elite. Our offense is elite. I didn't want to maybe trade away like a Mitchell Robinson or a Nick Richards, because I also want the depth. Like, who knows? Karl-Anthony Towns can go down, and I need Nick Richards to step up. Or maybe, like, Miles McBride goes down, and I need Drake Powell or Ben Simmons to step up. So, Wemby wins MVP, coming off the blood clot here in year number 3 as a 22-year-old. Cooper Flagg, I don't know why I didn't go number 1 or 2, gets Rookie of the Year. Josh Giddey, 6th Man of the Year. Wemby, Depoy. Ryan Dunn, Most Improved. Luka Doncic, Clutch Player of the Year. And Greg Popovich is your Coach of the Year. Here's All-NBA first team with 4 international guys and Anthony Edwards. All-NBA second team, you do have Evan Mobley, Halliburton, Shea, Paolo, and Cooper Flagg. So you have 4 American players, 1 Canadian, and then here on All NBA third team, no New York Knicks, something I'm noticing, which is kind of upsetting. I don't know how we didn't get Brunson there, but Drake Powell did make all-rookie second team, which I did see. Again, how is Brunson on the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference not named an All-NBA member? That wouldn't happen. I feel like we'd get 2 because Cat had another elite season for us. Josh Hart was fantastic. He did get injured again. It's funny that he's like missing the most time when I feel like he's an Iron Man as well. I kept him out throughout the last 2 weeks. I'm like, I just don't want you to re-aggravate anything. Get healthy, get right for the playoffs. 2K's really not a big fan of Miles McBride, it feels like. I mean, the 3-point shot inching towards back, but he just does not shoot well from the field. But yeah, we ended up as the 1 seed, so let's see who we're taking on in the play tournament. Don't be Boston, and how is it Boston, man? This is like the toughest 8 seed to go up ever. I mean, okay, so what? How do they have Paul George? They took Joe and Beringer here in the draft, and do they not have Kristaps? D'Lo is starting. Okay, they have Fred VanVleet. What is this team? So Kristaps is actually hurt. I thought they traded Kristaps for Paul George, but they probably traded Drew Holiday for Paul George. Not sure how I feel about that. As the Sixers also signed Julius Randle as well. So you have Randle and Embiid. Randle took the minimum. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on right now. But I would say this was a very successful regular season for this team. Like, we ended up as the 1 seed. We ended up with a 10.7 point differential. In the Eastern Conference, we had the 4th best offense, and we did have the best defense. Overall in the NBA, we had the 2nd best point differential. So here for the playoffs, do I want to start? I think like I'm going to start OG, who was good for us this year. At least like 3-and-D wise, a very expensive 3-and-D player. So I don't think like, oh yeah, Kevin McCullough is definitely not playing in the playoffs. Nick Richards, I think he's going to play. We're going to go 10 minutes to Simmons. Let's go about 10 minutes to Richards. We're going to go 15 to McBride. I'm going to go easily like 35 minutes to Hart. And then I think for the starting 5, let's go 37 to Brunson, 30 to Mitch Robb. I got 2 more minutes to play with here. I think I'm fine with 30 to Cat. So let's go 35 Bridges, 33 Anunoby, taking on Boston in round 1. I mean, this team does look different, but oh my God, we scored 172 points. Is this the best offense of all time? That might be a playoff. I gotta look that up. The Celtics in game 2 of the 1990 first round against the Knicks. Wow, that is kind of crazy. It's these same 2 teams. They scored 157. We scored 172. Miles McBride knocked down 7 threes. Anunoby at 25. Okay. I feel good about this team right now. Game number 2 goes to the New York Knicks. 140-95. Brunson drops 41. He's killing it. All right. Game number 3. We do lose. 113-101. I guess we really can't score in this game. That's fine. Game number 4 goes to New York. Thank God. If we ended up, like, if they tied it up, I was going to be a little bit nervous. All right, here we go. Game number 5. We end up winning this one 119-110. Jalen Brunson with 35. So we're taking on, let's see who in round number 2. It is Cleveland. So for basically 3 of the last 4 years, we're taking on the Cavs. We knocked them out actually in 23 and in 25. They do have a healthy team right now. Okoro starting at the 3. I guess they traded away DeAndre Hunter for Nikola Vucevic. They also have Norman Powell as well. So they did trade away Max Strus and a first for Norman Powell, which is probably a good trade. But DeAndre Hunter for Vucevic, not really sure if I agree with that one. Game number 1 goes to the Knicks by 13. Our defense is on display. Josh Hart with 5 steals. And Anunoby, not a good shooting game. I don't know if I'm going to move him to the bench. We could. We do win game 2. And Anunoby ended up having a good game here. You like to see that. Towns with 39. Brunson with 32. Nick Richards fully healthy. We do lose game 3. Every home team has won so far. Game number 4, Josh Hart. Okay, man, that is his like 4th knee injury in this video. So he's out maybe for the rest of this series, which kind of stinks. Miles McBride's going to get like 25 minutes a night. We're basically going to go 40 to Brunson. We're going to go, honestly, 42 to Bridges, 36 to Anunoby. I'm going full Tibbs right now. Let's go 33 to Mitchell Robinson. And the last spot, like, I don't really trust Kevin McCullough. I don't know if I trust Drake Powell. I think I may go to Precious here just to get like 9 minutes here. Game 4. Oh, we lose. All right. We lose by 6. I mean, I could go to the 8-man rotation. Bridges has a fantastic game. McBride goes 1 of 11, 1 of 8 from 3. 2K, he's a better 3-point shooter than that. Game 5. We do win by 39. Jalen Brunson. Wow, 55. Okay, that is huge. Game 6, we win. All right, and we're back in the conference finals. Brunson with 28. Towns with 26, Mikal with 20, and we're taking on the Indiana Pacers, the team that eliminated the Knicks back in the 2024 playoffs. I still think the Knicks would have won that series if Randall, OG, Bojan, Mitch weren't all hurt. Hart is day-to-day. You have Dallas and Golden State over there, a rematch of the 2022 Western Conference Finals. And here we go. Game number 1 goes to the New York Knicks, 117-97. Brunson with 42, Cat with 22, Mitchell Robinson with 18 and 13. Game number 2 goes to the Pacers, 137-123. Josh Hart, I need you to come back, man. I need you to come back. Game 3, we do lose this one. All right. We're down 2-1. It's crazy. Like, Josh Hart is going to be the savior of this team. I think he should be fine for game 4. Bang, there we go. And OG has been pretty good for us in the playoffs. Like 16-6, 1.4 steals, 38% from 3. I'm debating going to that 8-man rotation, but it didn't really work out for us in the playoffs or in the finals last year. So yeah, like Richards and Simmons are going to get 10 minutes, 15 to McBride, 33 to Hart. And that's going to be the starting 5. Brunson's still getting 40. We lose game 4. Damn. All right. Bridges drops 25. Brunson kind of struggles. 5 turnovers in this one. Damn. We turned the ball over a ton in this game. All right. Backs against the wall. We do force a game 5. We held them to 9 points there in the third quarter. Can we win game 6 to force a game 7? I've seen plenty of 3-1 comebacks in 2K before. This would be a little bit disappointing. I thought we were going to beat this Pacers team. I do see the Pacers go to the finals sometimes here in these saves in like year 2 and year 3, but we beat them by 7 and we force a game 7. So the Mavericks have advanced to the NBA finals. Come on, 2K. We got it. Like, the script is Brunson against his old team in the NBA finals. Give it to us, please. Can we win in the fourth quarter? Yes, we can. Let's go. We win 133-128 on the backs of Brunson dropping 47 and 10, 49 combined between Anunoby and Towns, and the Pacers blow a 3-1 lead. Brunson and Kyrie are your conference finals MVPs, and the Knicks are back in the NBA finals. So in the playoffs, like, Cat has been a great number 2. I think Bridges, Anunoby, like Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart have all done their jobs. McBride's been bad. I don't know if he's going to play that much in the NBA finals, but yeah, like, Brunson gets it done the first round. Cat was great in round 2, round 3. Mikal, 37 from the field. You got to be better than that. So I think here we're going to go about 10 minutes to McBride. I'm going to play Ben Simmons a little bit more. And we're taking on the Dallas Mavericks, who have Anthony Davis. They have Derek Lively, Gafford still, Christie, Kyrie, Clay. They haven't changed up their team too much. They brought back Tim Hardaway Jr. All right, so here we go. Game 1. Ben Simmons cut on the head. He can play through it. We lose it. We got blown out last year in the finals. Don't tell me that we're like an Eastern Conference merchant team and we just can't get it done. Is Cat? No. Oh, I guess that's why you have depth, but Cat is out for the finals, I think, or at least until a game 7. So we're going to have to go small, I think. Like, I don't want to play Ben Simmons and Mitchell Robinson out there together. Like, that shooting is garbage. So, yeah, Brunson's going to get 40. Mikel's banged up. He's getting 40. Josh Hart's going to get 40 minutes a night. Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson, 35 a night. Damn. So, I think we're going to go, like, 20 to Simmons, who's banged up as well. Richard's about 15. And then 5 minutes a night, I'll give it to... I need some shooting. I guess we might call in the Paininator. The Tank Commander can't paint himself. Game 2. Ben Simmons, Mikal Bridges healthy. Let's go. We win this one. All right, we win by 1 in overtime. Oh, my God. All right, can we win without Big Purr, without the Big Bodega? Oh, my God, man. We get blown out by 26 in Game 1. We win by 1 in Game 2 and 1 in Game 3. Josh Hart, come on, man. Let's do this. Game 4, they win. Nobody said it was going to be easy. The Mavericks wins are blowouts. Our wins are by 1 point. So I would feel way more... Oh, Cat is back. Let's go. I thought he was going to be out a little bit longer than that. All right, so I'm actually going to start Josh Hart over Anunoby here for the final 5, or for the final, we'll see how many games. And we do win game 5. Oh my God, by 4. Our wins, 1 point, 1 point, 4 points. Are we going to go to a game 7, or can the New York Knicks win on the road here in game 6? I don't want to go to a game 7. I would feel nervous about it. We're up by 10 here in the 4th. We're up by 12. And the New York Knicks... Man, it's looking good. As we're up by 13 here on the road, obviously it'd be cool to win at home. I don't get how Precious Achiuwa is in this game right now when he's getting 0 minutes in my rotation. Don't you just love 2K? But Brunson, against his former team's got 22 points here. I mean, the Mavericks have a ton of size with Lively, AD, Washington, Gafford, but we have a ton of size as well. I mean, Anthony Davis is going to miss that shot, but we got Mitch Rob, we got Cat. We got Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is tall. I mean, OG isn't like super tall, but he plays very physical. As Brunson, guarded by Klay Thompson. That's not the shot I wanted, but he hit it anyway. Oh my God, the future is now, old man. Even though Brunson is like 30 at this point, but I think Josh Hart's got to be the MVP. I'm just glad I was able to keep this team competitive enough to win a title. And maybe the Knicks, like, I think the Knicks window's still open. You guys got to give me, like, a non-biased take in the comments. Like, what's your opinion on the New York Knicks? Do you think, oh, my God, what a block there by Mitchell Robinson. Like, do you think the Knicks are still in a good position? Like, the Nuggets had a ton of playoff losses before they won in 23. Same with the Bucks in 21. Same with the Celtics in 2024. Like, teams aren't going to dominate every year. Not every team can be, like, the mid-2010s Warriors. So, like, oh, wow, what a pass there by Mikal. Do you think the Knicks just got to build up more chemistry with this team? Like, they lost Isaiah Hartenstein, and they kind of had to pivot to a Karl-Anthony Towns trade, and Cat, Mikal, like, and OG have only played together for how many games this year, right? And then, like, Hart and Brunson played with each other about a year and a half longer. You're going to get Mitchell Robinson back, too, which will only help. I don't know. I do think the Knicks kind of messed up the 2024 draft a little bit. Nice pass there from Brunson. We're just killing the pick and roll right now. But I think they should have drafted a little bit more NBA ready. Like, I like the Kevin McCullough and I like the Tyler Kolek picks, and I really like the Ariel Hook-Porty pick with the last pick in the draft. But the Dadiat pick, man, I didn't really get that. Ryan Dunn was on the board. I would have loved them to take Ryan Dunn. Even if you look at like what Jamal Shed or Jonathan Mogbo were doing in Toronto, the Knicks need some defense, and if they could just get some wing defense, that would be great. But yeah, it's definitely discouraging to see that the Knicks are 0-7 against the top teams, because the way that the playoffs are going to fall, the Knicks are not getting the 1 seed, as Mitchell Robinson has just been killing it here in the final couple minutes. Like, the Cavs are going to get the 1 seed, or the Celtics. Either way, the Knicks are going to have to play one of those 2 teams in round 2. And I don't know, the Knicks probably could, I don't know, I guess I'd rather play Cleveland just because Boston won it all last year, as Mitchell Robinson is everywhere. I just can't see the Knicks beating Boston in round 2, beating Cleveland in round 3, and then who knows, you might have to go up against OKC or Dallas or LA or Denver in the NBA Finals. It's just going to be, I think, a tough path for the 2025 Knicks. But the 2026 Knicks just won the NBA Finals. And there we go, Adam Silver giving us the NBA Finals trophy. Miles McBride, one of the longest tenured Knicks on this team, because he was a second-round pick back in 2022. No, he was actually a second-round pick back in 2021. So him and Mitchell Robinson, the 2 longest tenured Knicks right now, both second-round picks. Like, the Knicks have done a good job drafting late over the years, like getting Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride, Mitchell Robinson. Remember Alonzo Trier? But it's funny, like, some of the first-round picks they haven't hit on, like Kevin Knox or an Obi Toppin or Frank Ntilikina. I know that's a different GM cycle over there, but we'll see how Pakomodadiet does. Brunson gets Finals MVP, and the Knicks win it all, which I'm going to try to go back next year, and I think having the depth helped out a ton. Having a Ben Simmons on this team, having Nick Richards and Mike Precious, God forbid something else happened. We drafted Drake Powell, and we also get our first-round pick here in the 2026 draft, so there goes Russ, CP3, and LeBron. I'm going to keep Kevin Durant and James Harden and DeRozan and Paul George around 1 more year. And the Hall of Fame is as expected with Chris Paul, LeBron, and Russ. Like, I don't think this team's window is done just yet. I'm not getting that Washington Wizards pick. It would be cool, though. So we do own the 30th pick in this year's draft. And hey, Tibbs finally got a ring, man. I feel like, I don't know if it's true, but I think, like, Tibbs is, I don't know if he has like a family, like a wife and kids, but he just like stays in his Connecticut house and just like watches film all the time. Like, he is really a basketball junkie. So I hope he does get a ring before it's all said and done. I believe he is one of the older coaches in the NBA. He might be the oldest coach, like active coach right now, since Pop is not currently coaching. So I was able to get 2 seconds from the Wizards for their first round pick the way it conveys. So I have 33 and 36. I wonder if I can get into the first round here with that. Okay, cool, because now I can get a rookie under a 4-year contract. And we're here the night of the 2026 draft. We'll see kind of who, oh, man, the Spurs really won the lottery. I didn't even realize that. They're just going to be unreal next year. And yeah, the Spurs take Darren Peterson number 1. I mean, like, he's a really good player, but over AJ or Cameron Boozer, I don't know about that right now. All right, so we did keep the Nova Knicks alive. I got Josiah Mosley there at pick 30 and Malachi Moreno at pick 27. We don't have any team options right now to deal with. I'm going to give Kevin McCullough and Ariel Hook-Porty the qualifying offers, but I'm going to try to make a trade. I'm going to try to move Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Moreno to Minnesota for Dante DiVincenzo. Yep, I want to get the Nova Knicks back in full swing, and they are going to agree to that. Welcome back, Dante. I just hate that we never got to see Dante, Brunson, Hart, and Mikal this year, and we may never see it because, I mean, the Knicks could not trade for DiVincenzo right now, and DiVincenzo won't be a free agent for a little bit, but man, I really wanted to see them play together. So I don't know if I could bring back Ben Simmons. Like, I don't think I could afford him, but I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker would be a very good replacement for Ben Simmons. Let's do that. And we're also going to be bringing back Campaign for the vibes. And we're going to bring back Kevin McCullough for basically $2 million a year. And same thing with Ariel Hook-Porty. Let's bring him back. So this team should have a ton of depth going forward next year. And I just kind of want to see where maybe some of the top guys ended up. Did they change it all? Kevin Durant goes back to the Nets. All right, Jaren Jackson Jr. teams up with Luka in LA, so they use the LeBron money there. De'Aaron Fox goes to Portland. All right, Joyce Randle did get paid by the Bulls. Dyson Daniels got paid by the Bucks as well. But yeah, like, we have a ton of depth next year. I'm going to make Dante DiVincenzo a shooting guard, though. Oh, his overall does not go up. Interesting. But yeah, you can see this depth right now, like Brunson, Payne, you have McBride, Naw, DiVincenzo, McCullough, Bridges, Anunoby, Hart, Powell, Josiah Mosley, but then we have Cat, Robinson, Richards, Porty. So I guess not having Simmons or Achiuwa could hurt our power forward depth. I mean, Chris Boucher is 33, but not a bad option. I do like Kenrich Williams' defense. Let's bring him in. We may have to cut somebody before this season starts. I'm not too sure. We see a little bit of regression to Hart, Bridges, and Brunson. That's fine. And I'm going to bring back Miles McBride on a 3-year, $30 million extension. And I do need to release somebody before the season starts. So, I mean, that probably should be Hook-Porty or Kevin McCullough. But I think it's going to be, you know what? Unfortunately for the vibes, it's going to be Campaign. Sad day for the vibes. All right, so it's going to be Brunson, Hart, Bridges, Cat, Mitchell Robinson in the starting five. That's pretty good, man. Anunoby, McBride, Richards, Naw, DiVincenzo all getting minutes off the bench. First man in if there's an injury would be Drake Powell. We're 4-star defense under Tibbs. Let's see if we can go back-to-back with this team. Damn. Karl Anthony Towns has a spinal injury. 4 to 6 months. Now in 2K, that might be like 2 months. But still, that's kind of crazy. All right, so Wemby ends up winning MVP yet again. Debansa with the Wizards pick ends up Rookie of the Year. Josh Giddey, 6th Man of the Year in Philadelphia. Wemby Depoy. Malachi Branham, shout out to him. Balling out there in Los Angeles, most improved. And wow, and Clutch of the Year. But Greg Popovich and the Spurs won 70 games. Yeah, it might be time for everybody else to move to the side. It's a Spurs league right now, as it looks like Jokic, if they made the playoffs, and Mobley are going to be hurt. Trae Young replaced, I guess, De'Aaron Fox over there in Sacramento, unfortunately. Yeah, we didn't get anybody again on an All-NBA team, but shout out to Mitchell Robinson this year. I think at like the contract extension deadline, he was putting up 14 points a game, 13, 11, and 3 stocks a night. He kind of should have won most improved, to be honest with you. We ended the year as the 3 seed. We were the 1 seed at, I think, for a decent chunk, but I guess we did not have a good end to the year. We did finish with the best point differential in the Eastern Conference. But yeah, if we play the Spurs in the finals, it might be a bloodbath. It was a down year for Anunoby. Maybe we're hitting that regression for some reason. That happens. Mitchell Robinson, 13 and 11. We already talked about his good season. Mikal was fine. Karl Anthony Towns missed a decent amount of time this year, but still put up 20 and 10. Brunson was still really good at 30 years old. Josh Hart's efficiency took a little bit of a hit this season. Drake Powell got to play a little bit more. McBride played. Still, 2K doesn't like his 3-point shot. DiVincenzo was pretty good. Naw, not really as good. I don't think he's going to crack the playoff rotation. So yeah, I think we are not going to play Naw. We are going to play DiVincenzo. I think more minutes than McBride in the playoffs. I think McBride, I just can't trust his shot in this game. I think Anunoby's going to get 20 minutes a night. Let's go 20 to DiVincenzo. Mitchell Robinson, 33. Let's go 36 to Cat. 36 to Bridges, 37 to Josh Hart, 38 to Brunson. So we're taking on the Indiana Pacers here in round number 1, a team we came back down 3-1 last year in the conference finals to win the NBA finals. Game 1 goes to the Knicks. We scored 50 points in the 4th quarter. I'd say that's a good start. Here we go, game number 2. Josh Hart, thigh bruise. At least it's not a knee injury, but we do lose game 2 by 3 points. All right, on to game 3, where we do end up losing this one by 22. Oh, I don't want to be a first-round exit. Come on, don't make me a first-round exit right now. DiVincenzo, day-to-day, he can't play through it. So I'm calling up Drake Powell over Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Game 4, we do end up winning this one. Haliburton had 14 assists, but a good game all around. 16 rebounds for Mitchell Robinson. Drake Powell had 7 rebounds, 7 points, and 2 blocks. Game 5 goes to the Knicks, 117-102. That's what I'm talking about. We won 2 in a row, can't win 3 in a row. We are going to a game 7. Are we going to get DiVincenzo back for game 7? We do not. Just kidding, we do. And let's see what happens here. Game 7 at the Garden. Can we beat the Pacers? We did lose Game 7 in round 2 to the Pacers in the 2024 playoffs, but let's see what happens here in 2027. It's a close one, and we win by 4, and we stay alive. The Knicks advance to take on the Boston Celtics yet again. So I think we've played them in the playoffs the last 3 years, and we have beaten them every single year. I don't know how I feel about this, though. Game number 1 goes to the Knicks, 134-126. Game number 2 goes to the Knicks. Okay, yeah, I think we could bank on Boston not being 2K's favorite. We end up sweeping them to advance to the conference finals to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who have Cooper Flagg, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller. They're trying to develop T.J. Salon and Isaiah Jackson. Nick Smith Jr., Quentin Grimes against his former team. Let's see what happens here. Are the Hornets ready? We do win game 1. We win game 2. We win game 3. All right, so we go to 7 against the Pacers, and then we sweep Boston in round 2. We gentlemen sweep the Hornets in round 3. Cat gets conference finals MVP, but we're going up against the best team in the NBA, who did almost lose round 2 and round 3, where game 7's close. They won by 11 in round 2. They blew out the Timberwolves in round 3. Game 1 goes to the Spurs, 101-100. Damn, we lost by 1 point. Game number 2, let's see, DiVincenzo is out 1 to 2 weeks. And game 2 is going to be another loss. We lose by 17. I think this is fine. I'm glad I got my ring last year. Honestly, we're down 3-0. And we get swept. Wow. So at least against Minnesota in the first year, we at least won a game. This year, nope, the Spurs are here for real. So I'm really glad I got my ring last year. And we got at least the first title in 45 plus years for the Knicks, because it's Wemby's league right now. So that's going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, the Knicks struggle against the really good teams in the league, but they have done well against Milwaukee, Memphis, and Denver this year. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on the New York Knicks and their current state right now down below. If you guys did enjoy, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you were not already. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.